Alright, we're back again with Truckstang 3. In the last video, we took a moment to install our shifter, which required a bunch of fabrication in order to get it to fit where our transmission sits underneath the dash. In the process, I had to install the steering column in order to gauge where I needed to put the shifter at. But with that, our next video is going to actually be getting our steering, brakes, and clutch systems all established, starting with the steering. Now, off camera, I took a moment to try to figure out how I'm going to do everything, because we have our Ranger steering shaft right here coupled to the gearbox, and then we have, let's see if I can see it right here, right there, the end of the steering column from the original Mustang. Now, trying to couple all that garbage together can be done any number of ways, but what I ended up doing, I ended up locating a universal joint steering shaft piece from a steering column that was in a Fox body Mustang. I trimmed it down and I took the other end of the rag joint. This piece here came off of the gearbox from the original Mustang. I had to grind down the diameter, or grind down this shaft to get the diameter just narrow enough to fit inside this piece right here. Now, had to grind a little groove in order to accommodate this bolt. It's not perfect, but what I'm going to end up doing to help reinforce this is weld around the inside as well as the outside of this piece right here to help hold it onto the shaft. And then there's enough shaft right here to go inside the end of our steering shaft on the steering column from the Mustang setup. This piece right here, give me a quick second. This piece right here is actually going to go inside the end of the Ranger steering shaft. This is a spare piece I had, but the diameters are actually close enough that this stuff fits together. And then with the two holes right here lining up, I could put a bolt in here to secure this end together so our Ranger side is straight. Only thing I have to worry about is just getting everything straight for our Mustang side. Now, with that in place, obviously the universal joint is going to take the brunt of the bending and all, but the rag joint on the Ranger side will take some flexing just as well, with a little bit of buffering from the rag joint on the Mustang side. But I have to go ahead and weld this crap together, get it nice and solid, and then we can go ahead and install this whole setup and get everything locked down so we can see how our steering works. All right, we have our steering shaft assembly done. The Ranger side is bolted up to that nub that I showed you with the hole in it, using the bolt and the stock tread on the Ranger shaft. Our U-joint is welded up to the outer half of the rag joint assembly, which is in turn bolted to the inner portion of the rag joint assembly on the Mustang steering column. Everything is nice and solid, not really going nowhere, and we'll go ahead and show that the steering works. As we could see, the steering works like it's supposed to. Obviously, with the weight of the engine, which really isn't that much compared to a V8, we still have resistance on the steering, and well, there's no power steering on here. Even if the engine was running, there still ain't any power steering. But with a little muscle, you can turn the wheel without any real effort, even less so when you're actually driving. But with that, we're going to move on to the clutch system. Our Ranger 5-speed utilizes a hydraulic clutch system compared to any old school manual transmission that utilizes a Z-bar as a lever between the rod going to the clutch pedal and the fork going into the transmission. This is a better setup because, well, you don't have all those moving parts to have to adjust and tweak to make sure everything is nice and tight. It's all hydraulic. It's basically a brake system. But because I'm not going to go through the effort of trying to modify the Mustang firewall and the under dash area to adopt a Ranger brake clutch pedal assembly. I'm going to stick with all the old stuff. Means we're going to have to adapt this hardware to our Mustang firewall. Shouldn't be too difficult. That hole underneath the master cylinder where I'm waving this rod around is where our clutch rod goes through the firewall and connects to the clutch pedal. It's at a good enough angle that it looks like our Ranger clutch master cylinder should actually fit in there pretty good. I'll just have to drill a couple holes to attach the master cylinder in place to the firewall. Now, I could modify this this pedal rod, which has already been modified, by the way, because you can see the welds on it. But I could either modify this rod to cycle our master cylinder, or I could just modify this rod, which it's going to still do the same thing anyway. I'll have to get this mounted first so I could go ahead and see how everything sits on the inside. So after finishing up the installation of our clutch master cylinder and securing the oil reservoir up like above the firewall, we could go ahead and head on to the inside, see what we're working with. All right, this was pretty interesting and really a pain in the ass, but I managed to get the clutch master cylinder secured in place in the spot that I had previously pointed out. I had to manipulate the metal tube for the oil line going to the transmission, because in its previous stock state it was not going to really clear around the steering shaft or even the body panel right there, the inner panel right there. So I had to just carefully bend it to be able to clear everything as it makes its way down to the transmission right there. So that part is straight. As far as securing the master cylinder, you can see there's 2 bolts in place, and I'll go on the inside to show that monstrosity. I had to booger up the hole even more to be able to allow the port on the master cylinder to clear, and obviously being in such tight quarters, that wasn't going to be a neat endeavor. That was, as you could see, going to be a hot mess. But I got the hole opened up enough to allow the master cylinder to at least sit in place and secured with the 2 bolts. I had to drill a hole in this plate here from the steering column, well, through the outside in through the plate on the steering column, to be able to secure that bottom bolt. In turn, I had to remove the upper left bolt that holds the steering column plate in place, but it's got 3 more, so it's solid, in addition to the bolt that's holding the clutch master cylinder. The top one was just simply drilling a hole and putting a fender washer on there to help distribute the weight around that metal right there, so the clutch master cylinder should not move when it's being depressed. Now, the next thing is going to be our rod. As for our rod, the better option is going to probably be to do what I similarly did to the old clutch rod on the Mustang, and that's basically welding 2 rods together solidly enough that they could maintain their integrity while being cycled back and forth. In this case, I trimmed off the last few inches of the old pedal rod. This part will go into the pedal itself, and then I'm going to end up lopping off this rod probably about right here or something, and then welding it sort of like that along this seam here, so this entire junction right here will help maintain the strength of the overall rod. Now, because all this stuff is not perfectly in line between the pedal and the master cylinder, it would actually fit pretty good as far as the offset between the 2 components. So next thing I got to do is trim this rod down, test fit everything, and then weld all this stuff together to finalize this mess. While trying to test fit our clutch pedal rod to the master cylinder, I noticed that we were achieving an angle that was a little too sharp, that when I would depress the clutch pedal, the rod would actually brush up against the snap ring that holds the piston in on the clutch master cylinder. So I ended up pulling said clutch master cylinder and opened up that hole a little bit more, which, as you can see, it's jagged and jacked and just looks unsightly. But I moved the clutch pedal down a little, not clutch pedal, the master cylinder down a little bit, and actually found me a all thread bolt that I put in that upper left hole on the steering column flange, and that all thread bolt's long enough that I was able to use that stud as one of the mounting points for the clutch master cylinder. So all I had to do was just drill one more new hole at the top point to mount the top portion of the clutch master cylinder to the firewall, and that gives me a decent enough angle that when I depress the clutch, it's not pushing the rod against the snap ring. And surprisingly, this clutch master cylinder as well as the slave cylinder are actually self-sealing systems with like a check valve, so to speak, that allows you to keep oil in there. And of course the clutch master cylinder came as a sealed unit anyway, so once everything was snapped together, I really didn't have to bleed anything. This thing is actually depressing the clutch properly right off the bat, so that's a win right there. I didn't have to go ahead and get help to try to bleed this crap. So the next thing we're going to move on to is our brake system.
All right, on to our next and final portion of the video segment, our brakes. Now, this car's always been a manual brake setup, and I never had any problem stopping this thing even abruptly. Even with the front disc brake setup, everything worked just as designed, no problem. The reason why I bring that up is because due to the location of our clutch master cylinder, I don't think I'm going to be able to get our Ranger brake booster in place. There's really no room. Now, I could try to move the clutch master cylinder even lower on the firewall, right next to the steering column, but then that's going to create a problem with our clutch pedal rod, where the thing's going to be so offset that I'm going to have to try to fabricate some type of S rod, and I don't want to do that because such an oddball rod would put undue stress on said rod and possibly cause it to snap under use over time. So I'd rather keep the current setup where the rod is pretty straight and the cycling of the pedal pushes the rod straight into the master cylinder without any risk of damage. With that being said, I could still mount the Ranger master cylinder, brake master cylinder, right to the firewall as the Mustang master cylinder was, because the way it looks, the flanges on both master cylinders looks like they match up as far as the bolt pattern and even the port. So this master cylinder should not have any problem fitting right in place, where all I have to do is just bolt this thing down and get the pedal rod in place and get the brake lines fabricated to wrap up the whole brake system. Well, of course, bleed the thing too, provided this master cylinder actually works. But in order to do that, I have to get all this garbage mounted up so we can actually see if this master cylinder is viable. All right, we have our Ranger master cylinder bolted in place, same as the old Mustang master cylinder was, just right up against the firewall, sans brake booster. I was able to use a stock Ford piston rod to couple to the brake pedal, so that's all good. Didn't have to do any fancy adapting there. As for our brake lines, the screw down fittings on the front and back brake lines from the Ranger stuff were actually crisscross, so I had to cut the tip of the line off and then reflare the line with the fittings switched around so they could go in their respective ports on the Ranger master cylinder. You could also see the brake oil residue on our steering shafts from when I bled the master cylinder down to make sure oil was actually going to move out of this pile, but also took time to bleed the brakes, as we could see from residue on our calipers. We have the brakes bled all the way around, front to back, and the brake pedal is rather firm, all things considered. So we should not have any problems stopping this pile when we're running down the road. But with that, I would say that this segment of our Truckstang 3 build is complete. We have our steering done, we have our clutch assembly taken care of, and we have our brakes all done. Everything's in place there, so we're ready to rock and roll. And next installment is going to be electrical. I have a aftermarket fuse box
with wire and harness that I'll be installing in here, so I'm not trying to actually fabricate something from scratch from a cut down fuse box. Try to make life a little bit easier on myself this go around. But with that, I'm going to leave it off here. So as usual, hit the like button. Likes are free. Subscribe, same thing. Check out the TikTok, Facebook, website, all that good stuff. Share the video. We would appreciate that. Get our name out there some more. Click the notification button so you can be kept up to date on future videos on this project as well as others. And the next time around, we'll be getting some juice into this thing. Until then, I'm going to catch you later. It's getting late. I'm hungry. I'm out.